Hi everybody, and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. This post is from the subreddit Relationships, and it's by user Deleted. I, 35 female, am finally pregnant after years of trying, but my best friend, 35 female, has started to get bitter towards people who are having children, and I have no idea how to tell her or what to say for our upcoming visit. Hi Reddit, I visit and lurk from time to time, but never thought I'd have a reason to do a post until now. I'm a big ball of emotions and hormones right now, so I'm saying sorry in advance for what is probably going to be a very erratic writing style. Needless to say, I'm not George R.R. Martin. So my husband and I have been married for 9 years and have been trying to have a baby for the past 5. Honestly, it's been a long and grueling process full of tears, heartbreak, and disappointment. But thanks to the miracle of modern science, I am happy to announce I am now 12 weeks along with our first child. We are overjoyed and pleased as punch and plan on telling everyone next week once we are safely well into the second trimester. There's only one minor shadow being cast over the happiest moment of our lives, and unfortunately, that's my best friend, who I will refer to as Rachel. Rachel and I have a friendship straight out of a Taylor Swift song. We met in 9th grade Spanish class and have been bosom buddies ever since. We went to the same university and roomed together, although we had very different majors. After college, she moved to another city about an hour away from work, and I married my college sweetheart a few years later. It's been difficult to keep in touch, what with life being what it is, and her not exactly living close by, but we've managed and are still the best of friends. About 5 years ago, Rachel got in a relationship and quickly moved in with a guy whom she is convinced is the one. I don't exactly like the guy. He's not a bum or an axe murderer, but I just don't think he's a good fit for her. Rachel is desperate to get married and have children, and her boyfriend has been telling her for years now that he has zero interest in having children and he absolutely will not ever get married. I've told Rachel she can't change the guy and she needs to end it and move on, but of course she won't. She loves her boyfriend and is convinced one day he will come around and change his mind, etc. Needless to say, after a year or two of dating this guy, Rachel started becoming a real Debbie Downer towards any of our friends or family who got engaged or started having children. Long story short, she's now at the point where she tosses wedding invites into the trash, although she always sends a nice gift and will call me crying and half drunk about how much it kills her, it's unfair, etc. But the worst is that lately, she has started to cut people out of her life who have kids. She doesn't see her family members who have children, and she avoids her friends who do altogether. I understand it's hard watching everyone around her move on into the next stage of our lives while she stays in limbo, but it's honestly starting to affect me and how I can talk to her. The city Rachel lives in just happens to be the living place of several of my family members, and my husband and I made plans months in advance to visit them over the holidays. And we plan on springing our bonus news on them then. I also made plans with Rachel, this all happened before I got pregnant, to make a day for her where we would spend it together, just the two of us. I'm now kind of dreading the trip. Rachel doesn't know that I'm expecting, and I now have no idea how to tell her, and worse, I'm scared to death she will end our friendship over it, or at the very least be devastated and crushed. I'm ecstatic over my pregnancy, but I also care deeply for my friend and her feelings. Clearly, I can't lie or hide it forever. I think the news should come from me, but I don't know what to say or how to say it. Should I call her before the trip or send her an email so I can give her some time to process and possibly bail? Or should I just tell her while we spend our day together in the city? Or maybe even wait until after the trip to say something? And since I know I do have to say something one way or the other, what should I say? I don't want to hurt her feelings, but this is the best news of my life, and it's going to be hard pretending I'm not thrilled or that I don't really care. Thoughts? Okay, OP, the first thing is that your friend's situation is of her own choosing. From what you tell us, her boyfriend has made it very clear that he doesn't want kids or ever want to get married. Unfortunately, she's the only one that can actually decide whether she wants to stay or not. But if she decides to stay, it is her decision to own. And being bitter about everybody else moving on with their life and doing the things she wants to do, well, that's on her. Now, of course, I understand that you want to try to protect her feelings. But like you say, you can't hide this, so I would just call her and tell her everything that's going on. I don't know if she knows how rough it's been for you for trying to get pregnant for 5 years and having all that heartbreak, and suddenly this miracle happens. So you need to tell her, and hopefully she'll be mature enough to not get bitter with you or cut you out of her life. And if she does do that, well, that's on her as well, and it's not your fault. You should be happy and be able to tell whoever you want. And what do you guys think about this situation? What would you do if you were in OP's shoes? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see what they said. Koshers says, "Congratulations on your pregnancy, smiley face. I understand why you want to be gentle with her, but you could wrap the truth up in a cashmere sweater and put a bow made of unicorn hairs on it, and Rachel would still respond badly. That's about her and her feelings, not you or anything you did or said. I think an email or letter is actually the kindest way to do it, so she has a chance to process the news. If you're having trouble looking for the specific wording, I would probably say something like, 'Hi Rachel, I have some news to share with you. I'm pregnant. Husband and I are so excited. You and I have talked a lot about this happening to other people, and I know from my experiences that it can be hard sometimes to hear that other people are pregnant. It's a really emotional topic. I understand if you want some time or space to process it. That's why I wanted to tell you by email. I love you and I can't wait to see you soon. We are really looking forward to our trip.' Apolitical Inactivist says, 'Tell her as if she didn't have this hang-up. I would think it'd be in person over a meal since she knows you're coming to visit your family and her. Be naturally happy for yourself and give her the benefit of the doubt. She may rise to the occasion and be happy for you, maybe get drunk later, but you can't stop someone from breaking down. This will be a big turning point for her if you were her main source of commiserating for her own lack of children and marriage. On some level, she may have been counting on you not having children and keeping her company. Either she breaks up with the boyfriend, which she should have done years ago from the child-free deal breaker, and is able to start anew, or she goes off the deep end and starts poking holes in condoms. Either way, the only thing you can do is support her the best you can while taking care of mom stuff." Ninja Penguin 24 says, "Congratulations, smiley face. This is really exciting news for you and your partner. Unfortunately, your friend might well be upset by this news. However, you recognize that this isn't to do with you being pregnant, but her wishing that her relationship was moving in a direction that she wanted. I think you are probably the best judge of what to say to her about it and when to let her know. As general advice, I don't think you should have to hide your excitement or feel ashamed. This is exciting for you. This may work in her favor in some ways. My feeling from what you've written is that she will possibly be very upset initially, but it could be a big wake-up call. In her mid-30s, she has to be realistic about finding a partner who wants to have children with her. If you think she would be receptive, it might be a good opportunity to speak to her about it. The fact that she has cut people out of her life is a telling sign about how painful of an issue this is. But the pain was already there, and although you care about her, you can't fix that. She has to find a way to do it for herself. I can tell from this post how much you care about your friend, but you have your life to live and she has to live hers. If she isn't able to recognize that her boyfriend doesn't want the same things, then you can't help her. Keep us posted and best of luck. True Blood says, she sounds like a terrible friend. She's been acting so ridiculous that her best friend is afraid to tell her that she's pregnant. That's absurd. If her feelings are hurt by you being pregnant, she needs to see a therapist. It's not like she can't get pregnant or is trying and keeps miscarrying or anything. She's just gotten herself into a relationship that will never progress the way she wants it to. That's her own doing, and yet she's making people around her feel bad that they're attaining the things she can't. That's absurd. Don't tell her gingerly or like it's a bad thing or something you feel bad about having to tell her. This is a joyous occasion. Don't let her make you feel anything but happy about your pregnancy. Say, I have some exciting news. I'm pregnant. If she still acts like a sourpuss about it, maybe it's time to distance yourself from her. That's not the kind of person you want around you right now. Well, the community gave OP pretty good advice as to how to tell Rachel, but they all agreed that Rachel is in a position she put herself in. So now let's move on to the update to see what happened next. Hi Reddit, I'm back. First, thank you to everyone for your support, encouragement, and advice. I can't believe how much attention my post got, and even though I couldn't respond to all the comments, I did read every single one and I'm very grateful. In case anyone is interested, I wanted to give a quick update to let everyone know what happened. I decided to send Rachel an email before my husband and I left to give her a heads up and give her time to process and the option to bail if she wanted to. Here's what I said. Hey girl, how are you? I'm so excited about our upcoming day together. I wanted to hit you up because I've actually got some exciting news I want to share with you first. You know how Mr. OP and I have been trying forever to have a baby? Well, I can now safely say that we can expect to have a little Miss or Mr. somewhere around May 30th. If we get drinks, I just wanted to give you a heads up so you wouldn't wonder if my refusal to drink was because I joined a cult. Haha. Excited to hit the sales of Black Friday with you. Let me know if that still works for you. Smiley face. I got no response from her that day. Thanksgiving Day, my heart hurt, but the hubs and I packed up and we went to have a Thanksgiving with my aunt and uncle, a few cousins and their significant others and kids, and my grandparents as well as my parents who decided to make the trip out. The only hitch was that as soon as we walked into the house, I immediately had to run for the bathroom as the smell of roasting turkey decided to kickstart my morning sickness. Once my stomach settled, I walked out to wide-eyed family members asking if I was okay, was I sick, etc. I decided to break the news unconventionally and just patted my stomach and said, I hope that doesn't mean that they're gonna be a vegetarian. 2 seconds of blank stares before the realization hit and there were excited screaming and squealing and hugging and crying from the parents and grandparents. I then proceeded to use my pregnancy to justify the amount of food I ate at dinner. During the post-turkey coma, I got a text from Rachel. It said, "Are you sure you won't be too sick from the baby to shop?" I felt so excited and texted her back and said, "And miss out on a day with you? No way." She then said, "Okay, well, I think I'm going to be too tired to do the whole 2 a.m. rush. Do you want to just grab lunch and do a bit of shopping after?" I was disappointed, but I was honestly relieved she didn't ignore me or bail altogether. So the next day we got lunch and she was noticeably quieter than usual and a little stiff. She didn't bring up the baby at all, so I didn't and stuck to other topics. We then went shopping and I tried to be enthusiastic and I could tell she was trying to be the same way, but it honestly all felt wrong. At one point she asked me if I knew if it was a girl or a boy and I said we wouldn't know for another 4 to 8 weeks. After a few hours, she said she was feeling tired and that she was going to bed early tonight because she and her boyfriend were going on a trip early tomorrow morning. I felt really sad and, I'm ashamed to say, a little angry with her. We hugged goodbye and then she said, "Congratulations, OP, I'm happy for you. I know you have been trying for years. I hope you still have time to talk after you have your baby." I said, "Of course I will, silly. You're my best friend in the whole world and he or she is going to need an auntie as awesome as you." She just smiled a sad smile and we parted ways. I told my husband the story and he started to get upset and say how selfish Rachel is and how ridiculous, but I just asked him to please not talk bad about her and that she was in a difficult spot, and frankly, it hurt me too much to listen to him trash talk her. Our day could have definitely been worse, but it could also have been a lot better. I sent her a text yesterday saying how much fun I had with her and that I couldn't wait to hang out with her again, but I haven't heard from her. I'm holding out a lot of hope, but I think I need to start preparing myself for the possibility that our friendship may not last. That makes me feel horribly upset, so I'm just trying to stay busy and not let Rachel's attitude ruin my happiness. All in all, I had a great Thanksgiving with my relatives with a slight hiccup with the morning sickness and of course the awkward hangout with Rachel, but I did the best I could there. Thanks again everyone, hope you'll cross your fingers for Rachel and me, and that I have no more morning sickness. Okay, that was OP's update. Now, in the comment section, there were a lot of people who didn't read the original post and just commented from the information of the update and got really harsh with OP, calling her a bad friend and all that stuff. Now, unfortunately, all those comments were deleted, so I'm just gonna read one comment that calls out all of those other commenters and then an edit that is OP's husband defending his wife. T Brown Thunder says, "What the hell is wrong with these comments? Oh, Rachel is doing her best. Well, her best isn't good enough. You don't get to half-ass friendship just because you're horrendously jealous." It reminds me of people who say, "I know I'm a bitch, people just have to deal with it." Recognizing her flaws doesn't make her any less flawed. She's being a crappy friend for not being happy. It's pretty obvious which way this will go if OP keeps trying to pursue a relationship with this woman. It'll be horrendously one-sided with OP making all the plans, reaching out on birthdays, holidays, etc., and maybe getting a response from Rachel. The first time OP cancels plans on the count of her baby being sick or having a very tired pregnancy day, Rachel will bitch and moan about not being a priority and OP being so inconsiderate and just brings stress. OP, please ditch the dead weight. This woman is toxic and will only bring stress and depression into your life until she gets her head out of her ass. Edit. OP's husband here. I will be taking this post down within the hour, and if the mods remove it, fine by me. I have a very upset wife crying that she's a terrible friend and that she should have done more for Rachel, that people are so sympathetic to Rachel and she should have done better with her, on and on and on. If my wife came across harsher in this post, it's because I've had several discussions with her saying she needs to stop feeling guilty she got pregnant, that Rachel is upset, and that she needs to put her foot down and stop catering to everyone around her, which she is always doing. I've read both posts, and my wife has been more than generous in how she describes Rachel. Rachel is a selfish, stupid, spoiled brat who doesn't deserve a friend like my wife, and if she ends the friendship, then she's cutting out the person who loves her more than anyone else in the world. My wife has done countless favors and made several sacrifices for her friend over the years, and Rachel barely ever reciprocates. She's not infertile, she's a moron who won't dump her boyfriend who has made it more than obvious he doesn't really care about anyone but himself, then throws a tantrum before ignoring everyone who chooses to have a life. Thanks to those who actually read both posts and get what type of friend Rachel really is. I hope she actually does end the friendship and gets her toxic immaturity out of my wife's life, since my wife is entirely too loyal and loves Rachel too much to do it herself. Okay, so now we know what the husband actually thinks of Rachel, and good for him for standing up for his wife too. Now let's move on to the next post. This post is from the subreddit Malicious Compliance, and it's by user Storming Sunshine. Want me to quote you on size instead of time? Okay, you can pay more. I'm a storefront window painter. I typically give quotes for jobs based on supplies and time to do the job. I recently had a business owner ask for a mildly simple design on a small window and gave her the price of $150 and did the job. The business next door wanted a simple design on bigger windows, and so I did the job for $250. After I painted, they didn't like my price and wanted me to charge by square foot instead of complexity and time. I had them sign a contract stating the price per square foot regardless of design and that payment was due immediately. Then I measured the windows and the price came out to $500. Made for a nice Christmas bonus. Oh man, nothing to add. This was amazing. Thank you so much for sharing, OP. And it's that time that we've reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed today's stories. I really did enjoy reading them to you. So if you did, then don't be shy and go ahead and give the video a like. And don't forget to subscribe or even share this video with people that you might think will enjoy my storytelling. Also, if you have the time, go down to the video description and check out all the links I have for you. from our Discord community to my channel merch. And finally, I'd like to say thank you for watching. It really means a lot to me that you enjoy my videos. And having said all that, I'll see you guys in the next video.